Getting a GPU for your PC build is still very difficult right now. However, I've had some luck getting AMD Radeon cards on the secondhand market, and well, I had good luck again, but this time I took a slightly different approach in getting one. So let's talk about that. My name is Chris, this is Coalition Gaming, and today I'll be your computer technician. Real quick, if you're new around here and are into PC tech, hardware, gaming, stream tips, and tutorials, you're in the right place. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a single notification. Also, I stream to Twitch every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/Coalition Gaming Crew. So feel free to stop on by, drop a follow, and let's talk some tech. Anyways, let's get to the video. So the different method of getting this graphics card that I mentioned was I went ahead and went on to OfferUp and Craigslist and put up a wanted ad for GPUs. And I listed the GPUs I was interested in at that point, and I got some very interesting responses. One person worked for a VFX company where they build computers for VFX clients, and they offered they offered 7 GTX 1080 Ti's for $5,300. So yeah, they said that it isn't something that they normally do, but you know, in a market like this, who can resist? And I don't blame them for it. When you have a business like that to keep up and running, it only makes sense. But for something that's about $750 per card like that, that wasn't a deal I was willing to go for. And I got offered other cards, and when I would be like, look, I still want to offer old market rate prices, not this inflated price stuff. I'd go up a little bit, but I'm not going to go to like $300 for an RX 480 or 580 or something like that. And I know they're going for more than that still. So I wasn't having the best of luck, and people were all like, well, I can get more than that on eBay. Okay, fine then, go to eBay. I don't care. I'm not going to pay those prices. You know, it is what it is. And then finally, someone hit me up and said, I have this Predator RX 580. And I'm like, what? So he showed me a picture of it, and it made sense at that point. It is a RX 580 out of an Acer Predator pre-built gaming desktop of some type. It looks like it has an NVIDIA style blower on it though, not the typical Radeon AMD one. So I found that kind of interesting, but we'll be getting to that shortly. And long story short, I offered him $160, and he goes, I see that it goes for more on eBay, but I think that, you know, despite that the market being the way that it is, well, that's a fair offer for how things used to be. But I'm gonna see what I can get, and I'll let you know. And then after a few days, he actually hit me back up, and he said, do you still want it? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, all right, well, how about I lower the price to $140, and you come get it from me. Now, $140 for an RX 580. Not the best, well, not the worst deal, especially in the current market. Actually, not a bad deal at all. There's nothing that you can get for that price now that beats that performance, as far as I'm aware. So let's head out and go get it. Onwards to make the deal. He sent me a video of him testing it. That was the extra work that he would put in. And running Unigine Valley just fine, so I have no qualms whether it's working or not. But I have to drive to Huntington Beach, which for me is about an hour and a half drive. Well, like on an okay day, could be like an hour-ish on a good day. Either way, it's bleh. I didn't want to go yesterday after work, which when we were originally talking about it, but hey, it's Saturday now, and it should be a little easier to get there. I should have a little more time. So on we go. And traffic. Womp womp.
2 hours later.
Just pulled up. Let's go make this deal. And here we are. Let's get back in the truck and I'll talk a little bit more about it. So the deal is done. It's actually an RX 480 4 gig, and it's out of, I guess, an Acer Predator pre-built. As you can see, there's the logo there, single 6-pin connector, blower style cooler. It'll be plenty. I'll have to redo the thermal paste more than likely, but there it is. It's a little dusty, which is perfectly fine and expected for a secondhand card. And as I mentioned, he sent me a video testing this thing on Unigine Valley, so I know it works. But we're gonna put it through its paces a little bit more once we get back to the studio. and get it on a test bench. So the traffic-y trip home that's what's next now. Really nice guy though, actually. Very appreciative that I made the long drive out to meet him, and even gave me a Gatorade for the road, so nice. But first, I go get something to eat. I am hungry. Let's go. Here we go. Already started. Quick little life hack right here. I filled my cup, my drink, with just ice and this not so cold Gatorade. Now I can just pour it in. And now I got cold Gatorade. Hell yeah. All right, and here we are, GPU in hand. Upon closer inspection, it is, well, as I previously mentioned, a little bit dusty, but that is expected for a used card from apparently 2018, looking at this. Now, before I even got to the room, I had already sort of started poking around, looking more into this card, and apparently it's not a common model. I only found one on eBay, and there's nothing on the Tech Power Up VGA BIOS history or anything in there on this specific variant. And one thing I did find, because I technically already tested this card before coming on camera, and that was for our RX 580 FSR testing video. You want to check that out, be linked right up there and down in the description below. But it ran hot. I had to run this thing at 100% fan speed to get this to hang out in the 70s, which is where any like normal RX 580 would hang out, like the normal dual fan ones. So I am not so sure about this blower cooler, but the first thing we're gonna do before we put it back into the computer that I'm intending for this to go into is clean it up, redo the thermal paste, and then we'll test it out, yeah? All right, let's do it. All right, so here we have the card with the shroud removed. I don't really need to do too much to it, so I'm gonna just leave the power connector plugged in, but I could already tell that, yeah, dry, got the thermal pads. I gotta say, under the shroud, overall, it's actually pretty clean, on this side at least. The back is the dusty part, so I'll clean that up after I put it together. I thought I'd have to clean this side of the card, but overall it's in pretty good shape. Here you can get a better look at the thermal paste application there. Yeah, look, see, barely anything comes off if I rub it. So let's clean it off and put some new thermal paste on. All right, well, with the card repasted, cleaned up, also dusted. I just did it off camera because it's hot outside. I didn't want to be out there very long and have to carry the camera stuff out there and back, but it's blown out. There's no dust in there. Well, all cleaned up. Let's chuck it into the computer and throw some real benchmarks at it. Not just the single FSR one that I did a while back. And let's see if there are any temperature improvements. This right here is my previous main system. It's a Xeon E5 1650 V2 Ivy Bridge 6-core 12-thread processor, same as the i7 4930K, and 16 gigs of RAM, DDR3 1600. Obviously expandable for a lot more RAM, but this is an X79 system, and man, I did so much with it. I still love this system, but it's gotta go, so this is gonna get installed, and we're gonna end up flipping this thing. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel for that video later on down the road. But for now, let's go ahead and get this sucker installed. One thing I think that is kind of impressive about this system is one of the earliest videos I have on the channel is adding this AIO into this case. I'm not sure if it was this case specifically, but this AIO has been running in the system as my main AIO up until I replaced the system last year, actually in 2019 now. Wow, it's been a while. Up until I replaced the system since 2016, this is a pretty old AIO. Deep Cool, definitely impressed. This is a Captain 240EX. Hopefully Deep Cool sees this and wants to work with us though, because yeah, again, definitely impressed. Previous testing on this shows that the cooler is still working perfectly fine. Yeah, that's nice. All right, so I have the PC set up right over here. Let's go ahead and power it on and get to some testing. Benchmarks, here we come. And there we have it. If you had the question, is the RX 580 4 gig still a good card for, well, 1080p gaming in 2021? Well, there's your answer. And with the advent of AMD FSR, able to pump more life into these cards, hopefully more games support that, I think the RX 580 still has more life left in it yet. Anyways, hopefully this goes to show you that sometimes putting up a want ad, if you're willing to sift through enough stuff, can work out. But also that perseverance in light of, well, I guess in spite of how the market is right now, can still net you some results. And hopefully that's something you guys like. Speaking of which, if you like this video, you know what to do. Also, click that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a single upload. And also, I stream to Twitch every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/Coalition Gaming Crew. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. You got some helpful information out of it, or just, I don't know, watched it for the sake of it. Either way, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you in the next video or see you in the next stream. If you have anything you want to say about this, drop a comment down below. Always happy to talk tech in the comments with everybody. I tend to respond to pretty much all the comments right now. So if you want to talk, again, drop a comment down below. We'll see you. Also, we got tons of content right over there. Click one of those links, yeah? There's some old videos. Oh, actually, another video where I picked up some RX 400 graphics cards, an RX 470 and 570, $100 each during this craze, right? This crazy times. I'll link that right over there. All right, see you guys.